waiting patiently for the surgeon and ducking and diving and trying to stay away from the anaesthetist. Monday morning, 5 a.m. and I'm on the road again. I'm heading to a meeting on the outskirts of the country. Not in a fantastic mood this morning, feel a bit But when did mood have to do with anything? 2 reasons why not. 1, because that's life and you need to get on with it anyway. 2, your movement can change your mood. So it's better to just get on the road and try and make it happen, and your mood will move and change around you. On the lead up to Christmas, I'm trying to get so many things closed out. I am meeting some stone walls and I'm having to wrestle and finesse some situations because a lot of people are saying,
let's attack this in the first week of January when we're all fresh.
No, not really gonna work for me. Sorry. Let's attack it now. Let's close it off now. So over the Christmas period, we can all have a good thing and then we can do something else next year. And for 2024, we're all fresh. We come back, we can make new things happen and look at new opportunities. We poured this concrete slab last week coming off the weighbridge, and this is the first lorry to drive over it. Very exciting for us. Now we're just doing a bit of cleaning in the area where I normally park. We're using a broom to assist the sweeper. We're just moving some of the stagnant water and giving the area a good clean. It's Monday evening. I'm in the yard. Got back a couple of hours ago. I was pleasantly surprised when Manny from Elite Pave and Brimberger turned up and gave everyone at Ashville a Christmas surprise. Wasn't in the plans of my diet and my gains, but what could I do? The man went to all the effort. Just checking over here in this area. Earlier on today, the lads had some blocks, so they were finishing off the wall. Once this wall is finished, all the bays will be ready for new material, but unfortunately, we don't have any trains this week. We've said that we'll take trains over the Christmas period, but we're just waiting for the suppliers and operators to get back to us. Also today, Ben went to site by himself. Now the site had already shut down. We were the last ones there. We popped in to collect our machine and all the buckets. A lot of sites, when they shut down for Christmas, they like to give us the machines back and then we'll drop them off in the first week of January. It's the evening. I'm not in the yard. I'm at home. And I've received a message. Someone's told me something, but I need to check for myself. The last episode of Building Impossible with Daniel Ashville on National Geographic, which did not come out, only 5 episodes were ever released. The Royal Caribbean, icon of the seas, the world's biggest cruise liner, is now on Sky. So I'm gonna take a look and see if it is there because I haven't seen the episode myself, so I need to check. Oh wait, hold on, there I am. Okay, on Sky, Building Impossible with Daniel Ashville, 51 minutes. There we have it. The last episode that never got released, what I never saw. So I'm gonna have a watch of it now. Nice. It's Tuesday morning. I'm in the yard and it won't stop raining. Last few weeks I've been telling you how busy Ashville Plant Hire is. Ashville Plant Hire is doing well and all the machines are out on hire. Well, today is no exception. It's even more busy. We're collecting machines.
Morning. Just type your name in here if you can, please, buddy.
So here you can see the machines that are already back in the yard. Ben's gone out to collect some more. Some machines that have stayed out on hire for now are with Manny. He's got a 360 digger and a dumper. He's excavating and preparing because we're going to be there to take muck out and put type 1 in on both Thursday and Friday morning. He's trying to get as much done before Christmas like we are. On the subject of plant hire again, the young lad in the office, Liam, the aspiring football player, he is going to be going up to the north of the country to Fox's yard in Leyland, and he's going to do sort of like a week of learning. He's going to sit with the teams on the plant hire desk there, and he's going to absorb as much information as he can like a sponge and work with them. Now, you know that we are new to plant hire. Even if we weren't new to plant hire, you're always a student, you're always learning. So we hope that Liam can go up there and get some valuable experience and come back and teach all of us something. At the refurbishment project, the work continues. We're running the data cables from the garage going all the way up to the loft. We're doing some work in the loft for the master bedroom. Basically, the air conditioning units for the master bedroom sit up in the loft, but we are making an opening which has to be 1.8 meters by 20 centimeters, so we can feed the pipes through, and there's going to be a large grill there. In the bathrooms, Chris is trying to fit the basin mixers. While it's great equipment we're putting in the bathrooms, it looks really nice, the stuff that came with it in order to fit it on the wall was a bit challenging, so Chris had to kind of think it out and create a way to fix these wall mixers to the wall properly. You need to fix them to the wall properly, otherwise in the future you're going to have a problem that the tap starts rattling in the wall and things start going wrong and you don't know why. It just won't stop raining. It's been raining all day and it won't quit.
I wanted to do a stock survey. I said, there's very little here. Like, and she said, everywhere it's the same. She said, you can't get the material, can you? And I said, no. He said, we might have one next week, next Friday. And we've got 2 planned for the second week back.
Second week back? Yeah. What? No, we need trains, man.
I know.
So this is a stock survey taking place. So I think they use lasers and satellite imagery, and they use this to take rough estimations, dimensions, and then they are able to work out exactly how much stock we have in the yard. We've got a lot of previous clients at the moment who we're having to take legal action with because we're not getting paid. Now, that being said, we have not always paid people on time. We are not a company with massive cash reserves. Some of the tipping facilities we use want money up front, and then we have clients who pay us on 55 days when they're meant to pay us on 30 days. But what can you do? Because the person down the road who's going to offer them the same service, who can afford it, he's going to let them pay on 55 days. So it's just one of them things you have to swallow. So it's a constant cycle of trying to manage your cash flow, hence the invoice financing facility that we're using. But when people completely ignore us, that's when we go to court. But we have a client who's come back with a suggestion and a payment plan. So against my better judgment, I don't take the hard line with people who are trying to pay. I instruct the team not to take the hard line. If somebody has put forward an offer over a reasonable period of time, reasonable being open to interpretation, so it's £15,000 over 3 months, I think that's fair, and kind of it is what it is, and at least they're trying to make amends and they're trying to repay us. So let's do it. I'm gonna give them the opportunity. Hopefully my faith is repaid and we get what's due to us and their company survives. Had a bit of a brain block, so I thought I'd go for a walk and try and have a look at something that inspires me, just to free my mind, something exciting so the creative juices can start flowing and I can have a think. And I've made the decision. This Olympic office, click here to watch a video where we collected these for free and brought them back to the yard, and I discussed all the options. But this particular one, you'll notice that one side is open and this side is open on one half. I've decided that this is going to be my office, and I'm not going to close this off. This is going to be all glass panes along the front here and the side, so I can look into the yard at things I shouldn't and involve myself in details, very small details, which should not concern me, but they do. And I can stare at cameras here and be the micromanager that I am. No, I just thought it'd be pretty cool to have this open out so I can see into the yard and see what's going on. At the moment, we're not doing any work on these at all because work is so busy on the sites, we can't take any manpower to do this work in the yard. But we will. I'll have plenty of time to think about all of this when I'm trying to recover from the op, as I think about not being able to go to the gym and how I'm gonna cope with it. Now, I was asked a question. Somebody said,
how do you find a way to go to the gym when you don't want to go on all those days?
I said, do you want me to be honest?
I said, yeah, I want you to be honest.
I think of two things. When I was a much younger man, there were long periods when I was in great shape. I've trained my entire life. The video team, you're not allowed to show any ridiculous cutaways. And now I'm in relatively good shape, but more I'm trying to upkeep and stay healthy. I struggle with food. I can go in the gym and bang weights, not a problem. It's the sleep and the hours of work and trying to fit it in. I am compared to what I used to look like before. So it stands out a lot more when somebody sees me and I've put on weight for whatever reason. Maybe I'm not going for a great patch, I haven't trained. People point it out a lot quicker when I put on weight than when someone else does because of the shape I used to be in. Then I consider my health. And irrespective of what I do in the gym, whether I have a good workout or a bad workout, the fact that my heart is beating, your heart beating and the exercising, forget all the weights, forget everything else. Your heart beating and blood flowing around your body does so much goodness for your brain, your skin, your internal organs. That is a must. And then comes mobility. Can you move? Are you comfortable? Do you have aches and pains? And lastly, how bad do I feel forcing myself to go to this gym and do a workout when I'm tired and I don't want to? And then I think, how bad would I feel if I didn't do any of it and I went straight home and I sat in front of the telly and I just started watching things which are irrelevant and they're not going to help me? I weigh up the two and work out which one feels worse. And generally, the one just going home and sitting down in front of the television, that's what makes me personally feel worse. I know the same doesn't apply to everyone, and a lot of people have commitments which stop them from doing it. I was asked a question, so I'm just explaining how it feels for me and what my motivations are. It's Wednesday. We're in the yard. Oh, you're loading. You're loading. Sooner or later, it's going to be time to start look at replacing the machines we got in the yard. Currently, we got a 566, which is a 26-ton shovel. We've got a 586, which is a 34-ton loading shovel, and the 926, which is a 26-ton excavator. LH60 is perfectly fine, but those other machines, two of them have come off finance and one is nearly fully paid for. So I think it's time for an upgrade, but I'm thinking of making a slight change. Hear me out, because I know all the machine operators and everyone who runs kit's gonna go, "Don't do it, Daniel!" I'm thinking about going for dual fuel or electric. Yeah, that's what I said. I haven't tried any of them, but I've got a manufacturer that said they're going to give us one on trial to have a go with. And with the way everything's going with sustainability and the plans we've got for the yard and what we want to do, I think long term, they're obviously better for the environment, but I think they'll also save us money and go towards helping reduce our carbon footprint. Eventually, we will also look at electric lorries, but we're a long way away from that. And I need to try and find out if there's any government incentives for anyone who's going to try to spend money and do it, because it's not the most cost-efficient way of working, because you're always going to pay more money for new electric kit than you are conventional diesel kit. We are running out of Type 1. Hello, Flo. How's it going? Good. How much Type 1 we got left? That much. Four loads. How many tons? 4 loads. We've got 4 loads of Type 1 in the yard for Christmas, yeah?
Yeah, that's it.
Great. Okay, mate. I had a meeting with my CFO earlier and I made projections for last year's revenue. I was kind of right with most of them. I was like maybe 15, 20 grand out on some of the months, but in the grand scheme of things with our turnover, like that's not too much. So I'm now putting together my revenue forecasts for 2024. January, historically, like December, it's down because a lot of people aren't operational, they're not working at full bore. As we go into February and then we go into March, I've increased it significantly. Now, there are a number of reasons why I've done it, one of which is because we're gonna have more lorries than we had previously. Let's say, for round numbers, with the vehicle fleet we had, we were doing £1 million a month in revenue. Well, if we got 5 more lorries, I'm going to be looking at each of those tippers as 50 grand in revenue. We should be doing round about 1.25 a month. If I throw 2 volumetrics into the mix, which generate more revenue on a daily basis, then that's got to increase significantly. So I'm trying to take into account the additional vehicles in the fleet and what they're going to offer to the revenue. Of course, the costs need to be taken away from the revenue because it is exactly that. It's just revenue. It's not profit. But if you can put a benchmark, you can give your team something to aim for. And I believe that I don't believe I'm being unreasonable here. I think the figures that I've put here, I think that it's possible that we could most definitely do them. And I've used historic information. The months which I've tailed it off are August because everybody goes away, and January and December. B&W Plant Hire from Southampton, part of the Fox Group, have loaned us a couple of machines in the past. They've popped up to the yard to collect some and take them back. The team from Cortez are here. We're going to be working with them setting up a pop-up shop. It's going to be used to launch their new product line. Now, I haven't been talking about this in weekly because everything is still confidential. We don't know what the collab is. We don't know where we're going, but what we do know is it's all happening tomorrow. So you need to click here to watch the standalone video. We got them this container, and you got to watch the rest of the video to see the madness that is going to happen. It hasn't happened yet. Oh my goodness, what is that? We've arrived and the madness has started. Of course, this is still a normal day at Ashville. This morning, we had 5 lorries go to Manny with recycled type 1 and take out 5 loads of muck. At the refurbishment project, we had to go back to our original notes and we had to check something. In the master ensuite, we had a mirror cabinet in, and we found an old email from the client saying that they did not want mirror cabinets, they wanted a full mirror without any lines in it. If you look at this image here, on the right you can see the area where they can store all their toiletries. But if you look on the left, you can see the mirror divided up because it's a cupboard. So what we're gonna do is turn that into a mirror. We're gonna need to template it because we're gonna have to do cutouts to fit the lights. But then there'll be no lines dividing it up. And then we'll ask the client if the area on the right where they're gonna store their toiletries, whether they wanna put a mirrored cabinet on that so they just have one divide, but they hide the toiletries when they're not using them. That can tend to look a lot neater. The Cortez team are here. We're ready to go. There's a massive queue of people outside here. Container is dropped. Also, we got a bit of work to do in the yard, and the company has turned up to fit a selector grab on the 926. So over the Christmas period, we can do some work cleaning some vegetation.
What? This is your vans, yeah?
Yeah, it's my trucks, yeah.
Mate, I've done a talk, yeah?
Yeah.
Academy players.
Yeah.
About you, because obviously you're only keeping up kicks and that.
Yeah, oh, thank you, my brother. I appreciate you, man.
Never met.
I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
So
Good to meet you, man. I went St. Charles.
College?
Yeah.
I swear. I went St. Charles Primary.
Okay, I went St. Charles College.
I went St. Charles College.
Okay,
Yeah.
Waiting in line to support the cause myself.
Grab a double XL.
No problem. How you doing, brother? How you doing, man?
Work ethic makes me work hard. I'm like, you know what? I've got no excuse.
I can't believe I've seen you. Selfie. I'm going to show the missus later. She's going to be like, oh, way, you're with Dad, you're from Ashville.
Right in as in,
Have a good day, bro. It's Friday. I'm not in the yard. I'm on Harley Street. I have an operation this morning to hopefully reconstruct my shoulder. I'm going to be documenting it for a standalone video, which is going to be on my personal channel. Got an interesting job this morning. Ben is out in the flatbed doing an insurance job on behalf of Fox Plant Hire, our friends up north. The machine has been burnt out and damaged, so Ben's going to go and collect it, use the crane, load it on, and take it round to the scrapyard. Still waiting to go down. Had a little bit of a, not a tussle, but the anaesthetist. I'm terrified of needles, so they're gonna give me some gas. And yes, I know.
Such a big man, you go to the gym and you're scared of needles.
It is what it is. What can we do? We are where we are. I was just having a think and typing out a message to some of the team. We're putting together the business plan for the batching plant. And what we need to do immediately is we need to identify the potential market. We already run volumetrics, which is basically a mobile batching plant, but there's some people who don't use us because they will not use volumetrics. So what we need to do is identify the customer and identify the type of job they'll be doing, which is going to be large structures. And we need to see the existing people who use us sometimes for volumetric and they use others on other jobs because they don't want us on the massive pours, which are like 500 meters in a day. And we need to see what the volume of that work is. We then need to look at the batch plant. We need to work out what it costs per meter to create the concrete, because the batch plant is expensive. You're looking at around, I don't know, over $1 million, 1.2, maybe a little bit more than that. However, the price to create the concrete is cheaper than a volumetric because you can use different mixes. By that, I mean that a batch plant I would put in, it would have recycled material base. So for your lesser mixes, like let's say a C15 or C20, something that people would use when they're doing curbs, you could possibly use a recycled material, whereas us at the moment, we're very one-dimensional. Everything is CEM1, most expensive cement, and then we've got primary sand and primary graded gravel. If we were to have a batch plant, we could use alternative materials, which would save money, and they're also better for the environment. But then you need to work out what you're going to do with the volumetrics. You've got these bottle mixers running around. I think 8 is a good number to start with. If someone orders 200 meters of concrete and you send them the last bottle mixer there with 5 meters to finish the job and he doesn't finish it, then you have your volumetrics running around like rapid response, finishing off those jobs because they're not going to mind the last couple of meters being out of a volumetric. Then you need to approach utility clients, people who are working on the road, people who need you on day work, public highway. These are the other customers you need to approach. And you can still work with your normal customers like general construction companies doing extensions and landscapers. Because when you work with these people, they're quite happy to work with the volumetrics, and the volumetrics are very dynamic. We can drop a little bit of C20 curb mix over here. We can do a bit of C40 over here. We can do a C30 slab over there. So we're just identifying everything, and there's no point me having it all in my head and sitting in a meeting and passionately explaining that to a board full of people or to a funder. It all needs to be on paper. We get it all together. Then it goes to the CFO Donica you've seen in the past, who takes all these figures and puts them in a presentable format, not like my basic ones where everything is equal sum, open the brackets, do a little sum, close brackets. Ones which show a forecast for coming years, ones which show what the volumetrics are doing, what they're going to do after, and then we put it together, and at that point Meds will take over and we put together something nice and glossy explaining the offering, what we're planning on doing, the long-term goals of the business, talk about our eco footprint, how it works and how it fits in. Because you also have to consider, if you're going to be doing the bottle mixers, the new concrete market it opens you to, what is the ability to cross-sell to these people? The people who won't use us for concrete on volumetrics, if we get in there with bottle mixers, will they take waste management? Will they take aggregates? Will they take skips? Will they take roll-on roll-offs? Will they take concrete blocks? Will they take bagged aggregates? Will they use us for plant hire? So we need to get the full opportunity down on paper so we can present it, go over it ourselves, perfect it, and then we'll be going to funders. In the yard, from what I hear, it's going to be a short day. The lads are beginning to get back. There's about 4 loads of type 1 that's still got to go out, and then we're going to be washing up the lorries and parking them up. There won't be a lot of people in tomorrow. Hopefully I'll be not recovered, but hopefully I'll be in a position where I could pop my head in tomorrow and look around, but who knows? I am now waiting patiently for the surgeon and ducking and diving and trying to stay away from the anaesthetist. You know when things just aren't going in your favor and you get back and this is the first thing you see and you live on the top floor? Nah, it's a deep dish, man. Ah, you couldn't make it up. And the trek begins. I just had a catch up with Terry that in fact we didn't collect the machine because we got there and it was an 8-ton machine. And Ben had no way of getting it onto the flatbed. So I was too fast at the time saying we were gonna do it, but that is the reason that we didn't. And the lorry was stuck in Scania till 2 p.m. anyway, because they were doing work on it. Saturday, I'm in the yard. Now yesterday, I said that this grapple was going on the 926. And once again, I was too hasty. I heard that all day we tried to pipe it up, but it just didn't work. And I think there's a problem with the 926. I think Liebherr need to turn something on in the settings, but we can't do it. But all day the company had dropped this off. They thought it was a problem with this. They went and got new fittings. They did everything they could. They piped it up in different ways and it just wouldn't work. I am trying to make a recovery. I feel as good as you can feel, having had your shoulder completely reopened. Not to go into too much detail, but they did a slap repair. Well, basically, that's like, so here's your shoulder joint, and your shoulder goes in here. The stuff here disconnected, and they had to reattach it. And then they had to shave bone. They had to reattach my bicep here, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I am feeling it, but you know, there are people who have gone through much worse life-threatening operations. So, you know, got to be positive, got to stay active, and got to get back in the fight as soon as possible. And the reason I'm not wearing a high vis is because nobody's in the yard, only the video team. I am aware I don't have a high vis, but forgive me for one day because this t-shirt took an hour to put on. And if I tried to put on a high vis, I might end up back in the hospital. Let's have a look around the yard while everything's off and isolated and it's safe. I know I was only not here for a day, but I feel like it was a lot longer than that. Just making sure that I'm in the midst of things operationally. Do you get it? Operationally. Don't worry guys, I'm here all week. Last thing for this week, I was telling you about the company that owed us £57,000. I've been talking about it for a while. We went to court with them. With court fees now, it's actually increased to £60,000. They still haven't made a representation, but we still cannot get a judgment. And now we've gone into the Christmas period, and I think it won't get looked at till the 1st or 2nd week of January. But we are still chasing it. Not the greatest note to end the week on, but plenty of other positive things did happen. And that's it for Ashville Weekly, episode 168. I got to use this arm. Click here for the Ashville website. Click here to subscribe to our channel. Click down here to see an Ashville video you may not have seen before. And click over here for last week's episode, which was number 167. Last time I had a shoulder operation, I couldn't move my fingers for like 2 weeks. And look, I'm moving already. I'm not back, but I will be back. Hopefully stronger than ever.